Prince Edward, 57, and his wife Sophie, Countess of Wessex, 56, are thought of as the royal family's rising stars, having stepped into the limelight following Megshe and in the wake of Prince Philip's death in April. The couple have shared the family's grief at losing the Duke of Edinburgh, and Edward has spoken about his wish to continue his late father's legacy. Following Philip's retirement from public life in 2017, his youngest son Edward took on the mantle of his prestigious Duke of Edinburgh award scheme. It has long been understood that Edward would one day inherit his father's Duke of Edinburgh title. The palace announced plans for Edward to be the next Duke of Edinburgh when he married Sophie in 1999. A statement at the time read, "The Queen, the Duke of Edinburgh and the Prince of Wales have also agreed that the Prince Edward should be given the Dukedom of Edinburgh in due course, when the present title held now by Prince Philip eventually reverts to the Crown." In a recent interview with The Telegraph, Sophie described how Philip had asked Edward to take on the title in person. Describing the moment, the Countess said, "We sat there slightly stunned. He literally came straight in and said, 'Right. I'd like it very much if you would consider that.'" Touching on how the title should technically go to Prince Andrew, Edward added, "It's a very bittersweet role to take on because the only way the title can come to me is after both my parents have actually passed away." He added, "It has to go back to the Crown first. My father was very keen that the title should continue, but he didn't quite move quickly enough with Andrew, so it was us who he eventually had the conversation with. It was a lovely idea, a lovely thought." However, sources have since claimed Charles plans to stop the title from going to Edward when he becomes king. One insider told the Sunday Times, "The prince is the Duke of Edinburgh as it stands, and it is up to him what happens to the title. It will not go to Edward." Another added, "Edinburgh won't go to them, the Wessexes, as far as the prince is concerned." Following Philip's death, a constitutional expert explained the process by which the Duke of Edinburgh might pass to Edward. Ian McMahon told Express.co.uk, in 1999, on the occasion of HRH the Prince Edward's marriage, he was created Earl of Wessex and Viscount Severn, and subsequently Earl of Forfar. It was also announced at this time that in due course Prince Edward would become Duke of Edinburgh. He added, "No specific details as to when this would happen, after the death of the Duke of Edinburgh, were given. It remains within the pleasure of the Queen to make a fourth creation of the title Duke of Edinburgh. However, it has long been mooted that it will not be until the death of the Queen, and the accession of Prince Charles, that Prince Edward will finally be made Duke of Edinburgh. Royal titles and peerages are not one and the same thing. By George VI's letters patent creating Philip Mountbatten a Duke, Earl and Baron, so the normal rules of primogeniture apply. Technically, it will only be when these titles are again assumed into the Crown, on the accession of Prince Charles, that they will again become free to be recreated.